The old wooden bridge over Raven's Gorge in the misty Blue Ridge Mountains creaked under the weight of a late autumn dusk. Clara Hayes, a 32-year-old park ranger with a heart as steady as her boots, stood frozen, her loyal mutt Rusty, refusing to move. His shaggy fur bristled, his amber eyes fixed on the chasm below, a low growl rumbling in his throat. Clara tugged his leash, her voice soft but firm. "Come on, boy. We've crossed this 100 times." But Rusty dug in, his paws rooted, his gaze locked on something she couldn't see. Then a faint cry, human desperate, rose from the gorge's depths, chilling Clara's blood. What was Rusty hearing, and who was crying in the shadows below? Her heart pounded as she knelt beside him, the wind carrying another faint sob. This wasn't just a hike anymore. Something was calling them into the dark. Clara had always been a loner, finding peace in the mountains' quiet trails. Her only family the animals she protected. Orphaned at 10, she'd grown up in foster homes, learning to trust her gut and her dog, Rusty, a scrappy rescue who'd save her from loneliness. His instincts were her compass, and tonight they were screaming. The cries grew sharper, a child's voice, maybe lost in the gorge's jagged depths. Clara's radio crackled. Her friend Maya, the park's dispatcher, checking in. "You okay out there?" Clara hesitated, her breath catching. "Something's wrong, Maya." Rusty spooked. Who was down there, and why was Rusty so sure of danger? She clipped a flashlight to her belt, Rusty's growl guiding her. The bridge swayed, and the cries pulled her toward a mystery she couldn't ignore. Clara tied Rusty's leash to a post, his whines tugging at her heart. "Stay, boy," she whispered, her voice steady despite the fear creeping in. The gorge was a treacherous maze of rocks and shadows, but the cries, faint, pleading, drove her to the edge. She rigged her climbing gear, her hands shaking as she descended the cliff face. Halfway down, her flashlight caught a glint. A child's shoe, scuffed and abandoned, wedged in a crevice. Her stomach twisted. This wasn't an accident. Someone was lost, maybe hurt. The cries grew louder, echoing off the rocks. Was this a child in trouble, or a trap waiting to spring? Rusty's barks echoed above, urgent, as if warning her. Clara's heart raced. She was in deep, and there was no turning back. The gorge's floor was a tangle of roots and mist. The cries now clear. A boy, scared, calling for help. Clara's flashlight swept the shadows, landing on a small figure curled against a boulder. Eli, no older than 8, his face pale, his leg twisted at a sickening angle. "I'm here," Clara said, her voice soft, kneeling beside him. Eli's eyes, wide with fear, met hers. "They took her," he whispered, his voice trembling. "My sister. They went that way." Clara's heart sank. Who was A? And where was Eli's sister? What had Eli seen, and was his sister still alive? She radioed Maya for help, wrapping Eli in her jacket. Rusty's barks above grew frantic, like he knew time was slipping away. Eli's story spilled out. His sister, Ava, 12, had been with him, hiking with their uncle, when 2 men appeared, their faces hidden. They grabbed Ava. Eli said, tears streaking his dirt-smudged face. Uncle tried to stop them, but they hurt him. Clara's blood ran cold. Kidnappers in her park, and a girl was missing. She scanned the gorge, finding fresh boot prints leading to a cave. Her gut screamed danger, but Ava was out there, and Clara couldn't leave her. Maya's voice crackled. "Backup's an hour out, Clara. Be careful." Who were these men, and what did they want with Ava? Rusty's howls pierced the night, pulling Clara toward the cave. Eli clung to her, and she promised, "I'll find her." The cave's mouth yawned like a wound in the gorge, its darkness swallowing Clara's flashlight beam. She left Eli hidden behind a rock, his small hand gripping hers. "Stay quiet," she whispered, her heart heavy. She was his only hope, and Ava's too. The boot prints led deeper, and she followed, her breath shallow. Inside, she found a backpack, kid snacks, a water bottle, and a photo of Ava and Eli, smiling. Her heart ached. This was no random crime. Someone planned this. A muffled sob echoed deeper in the cave, Ava's voice. Was Ava alive, or was Clara walking into a trap? Rusty's barks faded above. but his courage burned in her. She gripped her flashlight tighter, moving toward the sound. Clara crept deeper, the cave narrowing, the air damp and heavy. Ava's voice grew clearer, a soft whimper behind a rock wall. Clara peeked around, her heart stopping. Two men, one with a scar across his jaw, stood over Ava, her wrists bound, her eyes wide with fear. "Keep quiet, kid," Scar growled, his gun glinting. Clara's mind raced. She was outnumbered, her only weapon a pocket knife. The second man, wiry and nervous, checked his phone, muttering about a buyer who was buying Ava, and how could Clara save her? She texted Maya the coordinates, praying for backup. Ava's eyes met hers, a spark of hope, and Clara knew she had to act fast. Clara slipped back, her heart pounding. She needed a plan, not a fight she couldn't win. She rigged a distraction, rolling a rock to clatter across the cave floor. Scar spun, cursing, and Clara darted forward, cutting Ava's ropes. "Run," she whispered, pulling the girl behind her. They sprinted toward the cave's mouth, Scar's shouts echoing. Ava stumbled, her breath ragged, but Clara held her tight. "You're okay," she said, her voice steady despite the fear. Could they reach the gorge before Scar caught them, or was time running out? Rusty's barks roared above, guiding them. Clara's heart clung to a sound. She wasn't alone, not yet. Scar and his partner tore after them, their boots pounding the cave floor. Clara pushed Ava ahead, her flashlight bouncing as they reached the gorge. Eli's cry rang out. He crawled from his hiding spot, his leg dragging. Clara scooped him up, her arms burning, Ava clinging to her side. The men's shouts grew closer, a bullet grazing a rock nearby. Clara ducked behind a boulder, her breath ragged, whispering to Ava, "Stay low." Maya's voice crackled. "Rangers are 20 minutes out." Could Clara hold off the men that long, or were they trapped in the gorge? Rusty's howls echoed, closer now. Clara's heart lifted. He was coming, her partner, her strength. Rusty appeared at the gorge's edge, his leash snapped, his barks fierce. Clara's eyes welled. He'd broken free to find her. She signaled him to stay, but he bounded down, his growl fierce as he faced Scar. The man hesitated, his gun wavering. Rusty's teeth were no joke. Clara used the moment, pulling Ava and Eli toward a narrow path. Scar's partner lunged, but Rusty snapped, buying them seconds. "Go!" Clara yelled, her voice raw. Could Rusty hold them off, or was he risking too much? The kids clung to her, their trust her fuel. The path led to a river, and Clara's heart sank. There was nowhere left to run. The river roared, its waters icy and swift, cutting through the gorge. Clara held Ava and Eli close, their faces pale, as Scar's shouts neared. "We have to cross," she said, her voice steady despite the fear clawing her chest. Ava shook her head, terrified, but Eli nodded, his small hand tight in hers. Clara waded in, the current pulling at her legs. The kids' weight heavy. A shot rang out, splash in the water. Scar was close, his gun raised. Could they make it across, or would the river claim them first? Rusty's barks echoed, fierce, holding the men back. Clara's heart pounded. She had to save them, for Rusty, for herself. Halfway across, the current surged, nearly sweeping Eli away. Clara gripped him, her arms screaming, Ava's sobs loud in her ears. They reached the far bank, collapsing in the mud, but Scar's partner waited after them, his gun steady. Clara's heart raced. She was out of tricks. Rusty leapt into the water, his teeth bared, tackling the man. Scar shouted, firing wildly, but Rusty's fury gave Clara time. She pulled the kids into a thicket, hiding as the men regrouped. Was Rusty okay, or had he given too much? Maya's voice crackled. "We're here." Headlights pierced the dark, rangers closing in. Clara's hope flared, but the danger wasn't gone. Rangers swarmed, cuffing Scar's partner, but Scar vanished into the gorge. Clara held Ava and Eli, their tears soaking her jacket. Rusty limped to her, blood on his fur, but his tail wagged weakly. "You're my hero," she whispered, her voice breaking, bandaging his wound. Eli pointed to a cave where their uncle was last seen. "He's hurt," he said, his voice small. Clara's heart tightened. Another life was at stake, and Scar was still out there. Could she find their uncle, or was Scar waiting in the shadows? The Rangers set up a perimeter, but Clara's gut said this wasn't over. Rusty's eyes met hers, ready for the fight. Clara led a Ranger team to the cave Eli described. Rusty at her side, his limp slowing him but his spirit fierce. Inside, they found Ava and Eli's uncle, Tom, 40, bloodied and barely conscious, his leg broken. They wanted Ava, he gasped. For money. Clara's blood boiled. Human trafficking in her park. Tom's story matched Eli's. 2 men, a deal gone wrong. Clara's flashlight caught a glint. A phone dropped by Scar, with text about a buyer in Asheville, who was buying Ava and was Scar still close. She radioed Maya, her voice firm. We need the feds. Rusty growled, his ears pricked. Danger was near. A rustle outside the cave sent Clara's heart racing. She signaled the Rangers, hiding Tom and the kids. Scar's voice echoed, cold and taunting. You can't save them, Ranger. Rusty growled, his fur bristling, but Clara held him back. She needed a plan, not a fight. She texted Jinx, a hacker friend from her foster days, begging for a trace on Scar's phone. Jinx's reply was fast. He's working for Apex Group, a front for trafficking. Was Apex the mastermind, and could Clara stop them? The Rangers moved, but Scar's laugh was close. Clara's heart pounded. She was her only shield, and time was running out. Scar lunged from the shadows, his gun raised, but Rusty charged, knocking him down. Clara tackled Scar, her pocket knife at his throat, her voice fierce. Where's the buyer? Scar smirked, blood on his lip. You're too late, Ranger. A Ranger cuffed him, but his words chilled her. Jinx's hack revealed the buyer, a man named Victor Klein, Apex's fixer in Asheville. Clara's heart sank. This was bigger than the Gorge, a network of predators. Ava clung to her, whispering, Thank you. Could Clara find Victor, or was Ava still in danger? Rusty nuzzled her, his wound steady. Clara's resolve hardened. She'd end this, for the kids, for her dog. Clara drove to Asheville with Ava, Eli, and Tom, now stable, the feds trailing. Jinx met them at a safe house, her laptop glowing. Victor's at a warehouse downtown, she said, her voice tense. Apex is moving kids tonight. Clara's stomach twisted. More children, more lives at stake. Ava's eyes were fierce despite her fear. I want to help, she said. Clara hesitated, then nodded. She saw herself in Ava's courage. Could they stop Victor's deal, or was Apex too powerful? Rusty stayed close, his gaze steady. Clara felt his strength. She wasn't alone, and she'd fight to the end. The warehouse was a fortress of steel and shadow, its loading bay buzzing with Apex's men. Clara and the feds crept in, Jinx hacking cameras to guide them. Ava and Eli waited in the van, Rusty guarding them, his growl low. Clara's heart pounded. She was a Ranger, not a soldier, but these kids needed her. Inside, Victor stood over crates, barking orders, kids' voices muffled inside. Clara's blood boiled. This was Apex's heart, and it was rotten. She signaled the feds, her voice a whisper. Now! Could they save the kids? Or would Victor's men outmatch them? A shot rang out, and Clara dove, her heart racing. Rusty's barks echoed outside, calling her to fight. The feds stormed in, guns blazing, but Victor's men fought back, chaos erupting. Clara freed a crate, finding 3 kids, their eyes wide with fear. You're safe, she said, her voice steady, leading them to the van. Rusty stood guard, his teeth bared, protecting Ava and Eli. Victor slipped through the chaos, his gun raised, aiming for Clara. Jinx hacked the lights, plunging the warehouse into darkness, giving Clara a chance to tackle him. It's over, she growled, pinning him. Was Victor the end, or was someone bigger pulling the strings? The feds cuffed Victor, but his smirk said more was coming. Clara's heart raced. The fight wasn't done. Victor's phone revealed text from EH, Apex's true head, planning another shipment. Jinx traced EH to Evelyn Holt, a wealthy Asheville philanthropist with a dark secret. Clara's heart sank. Evelyn was untouchable, her charity a front for trafficking. Could Clara expose Evelyn, or was she too powerful? Ava and Eli hugged her, their trust her anchor. You saved us, Eli said, his voice small. Clara's eyes burned. She'd fight for them, for all the kids. Rusty nuzzled her, his wound healing, his heart fierce. She drove to Evelyn's mansion, Jinx's hacker guide. The real battle was just beginning. Evelyn's mansion glowed with false warmth, its gala hiding a predator's heart. Clara posed as a caterer, a wire hidden, Jinx and the feds outside. Evelyn's speech charmed the crowd, but Clara overheard her whisper to a guard. The Ranger's here. End her. Was Evelyn onto Clara, or could she get proof? Clara slipped into Evelyn's study, finding a laptop with Apex's records, names, dates, kids sold. Her hands shook as she copied the files, her heart racing. A guard's footsteps neared, and she hid, her breath silent. Rusty's barks echoed outside, urgent. Clara's heart clung to him. She had to make it out for him. The guard passed, and Clara bolted, the files in her pocket. Evelyn's voice rang out, "Find her." Clara ran to the mansion's halls, guards closing in. Jinx hacked the alarms, chaos erupting, giving Clara a path to the exit. Could she escape with the truth, or was Evelyn's net closing? She reached the van, Jinx flooring it, the feds tailing. Rusty leapt to her, his tail wagging despite his wound. Clara hugged him, her voice breaking. "You're my hero, boy." Ava and Eli smiled, safe but shaken. The files went to feds, Evelyn's empire trembling. But her silence felt like a storm waiting to break. Asheville erupted. Protests outside Evelyn's mansion. The feds raiding Apex. Clara's evidence. Victor's texts, Evelyn's records, hit the news, her name a whisper of hope. Ava and Eli reunited with Tom, their family whole. But Clara's heart ached. Evelyn was still free, a ghost in the system. Would Evelyn fall, or was she untouchable? Rusty stayed close, his eyes steady, his wound healing. Clara visited Maya, her voice soft. "Did we do enough?" Maya hugged her. "You saved them, Clara. That's everything." But Clara's gut said Evelyn was planning something. Jinx texted, "Evelyn's at a safe house." One last shot. Clara's fire burned. She wasn't done. Evelyn's safe house was a cabin in the mountains, guarded by mercenaries. Clara and the feds crept close. Jinx hacking cameras. Evelyn was inside, burning files. Her voice cold. "The Ranger won't stop us." Clara's heart pounded. She was close, but danger was closer. She slipped inside, Rusty at her side, his growl low. Evelyn turned, her smile icy. "You're persistent, Ranger." Clara held her ground, her voice fierce. "It's over." Could she take Evelyn down, or was this a trap? A mercenary lunge, but Rusty tackled him, giving Clara time to grab Evelyn's laptop. The feds stormed in and the fight was on. The feds cuffed Evelyn, her laptop revealing Apex's full network, names, buyers, routes. Clara's heart soared. She cracked it open, saving countless kids. Ava and Eli ran to her, their hugs tight. "You're our hero," Ava said, her voice strong. But what was Evelyn's last secret, and why did it chill Clara? Evelyn's eyes glinted as she was led away. "You missed one, Ranger." Clara's stomach twisted. Someone else was out there, Apex's shadow lingering. Jinx found a name in the files. Marcus Holt, Evelyn's brother, a silent partner. Clara hugged Rusty, his warmth her anchor. She'd find Marcus, and this a good. Jinx traced Marcus to a penthouse in Raleigh, his name buried in Apex's shadows. Clara drove with Rusty, her heart heavy. Evelyn was down, but Marcus was the real fox. Ava and Eli stayed with Tom, their courage inspiring her. Was Marcus the mastermind or another pawn? The penthouse was sleek, its guards heavy. Clara posed as a delivery driver. Jinx hacking the elevator. Marcus stood at a window, his voice calm on a call. Apex will rise. Clara's heart raced. She had to stop him. Rusty growled, sensing danger. Clara's hand tightened on her knife. This was her fight, and she was ready. Clara burst in, her voice steady. "It's over, Marcus." He laughed, his eyes cold. "You're nothing, Ranger." Jinx streamed live, Marcus's confession spilling. Apex's rebirth, his plan to flee. The feds crashed in, guns raised, but Marcus pulled a hidden blade, lunging at Clara. Rusty leapt, knocking Marcus down, his teeth fierce. Clara pinned him, her heart pounding. As the feds cuffed him, was this the end of Apex, or did another shadow wait? The world watched, Asheville cheering. Clara hugged Rusty, her tears falling. He'd saved her, again. Jinx's final hack revealed a shock. Marcus wasn't Evelyn's brother. He was her handler, a CIA operative using Apex as a front. Clara's heart sank. The conspiracy was deeper, a government shadow pulling strings. Was Marcus the end, or just a piece of a bigger lie? Clara sent the files to the feds, but noted Marcus's laptop chilled her. The Ranger knows too much. She wasn't safe, even now. Ava and Eli's faces kept her strong. She fought for them and won. Rusty nuzzled her, his eyes bright. Clara's resolve hardened. She'd face the shadow for her family. Clara's story spread, her courage inspiring laws to protect kids. She rebuilt the park's trails, Ava and Eli helping, their laughter her light. Rusty healed, his spirit fierce, guarding them all. But what was that last note, and why did it change everything? A letter arrived and signed. Apex is gone, but others watch. Clara's heart raced, but she burned it, choosing peace. She started a foundation for lost kids, her fight now for hope, not fear. Maya and Jinx joined, their bond eternal. Clara sat with Rusty, stars above. "We did it, boy," she whispered, her heart full. Clara and Rusty sat by Raven's Gorge, the bridge quiet, Asheville glowing. Her foundation thrived. Kids safe, Ava and Eli dreaming big. Jinx texted, "No shadows." Maya's story lived. The world changed. Clara whispered, "We're enough, Rusty," her voice soft. What's next for Clara, and will her light endure? A kid ran up, holding a drawing. Clara and Rusty, heroes under stars. "For you," she said. Clara's tears fell, her heart soaring. Rusty's tail wagged, their bond eternal. Asheville shone, reborn, Clara's courage a song. Subscribe and hit the bell for stories of love, bravery, and mysteries that light the dark.